So I'm down in my parents' place, and unfortunately I haven't got any airsoft kit with me, so I thought I'd do something different and make a video about me helping out around the garden and doing some weeding here. So you normally should wear gloves when weeding, but I never do. Like always, I'm an idiot. Anyway, let's get stuck on in here. Oh, it's a big weed, hang on. So, the TM417, very, very nice rifle. It's obviously based off the HK417, a 7.62 select fire. I believe it's designed as a DMR or just, a battle rifle. Basically the bigger brother of the HK416, which is a HKized version of a M4, replacing the direct gas impingement. Okay, so I know it's technically not a direct gas impingement system, but most people call it direct gas impingement. I know it's technically concentric piston behind the bolt carrier. I'm not going to go into that. If you want to go into that, go check out Forgotten Weapons video. I'll put it here, I think. Here. We'll put it here. Okay. Anyway, back to the video. Not quite, but basically a direct gas impingement system of the M4 with a short stroke gas piston system. I'm not going to go too much more into the actual history of the thing, but it's used by a variety of forces around the world, including the SAS, and I believe it's used as the kind of sniper rifle of the Met Police Force as well. But this is a very, very nice rifle. TM have done an excellent job. Most people like to say TM is crap plastic, but this is not. This is metal where it should be metal, polymer where it should be polymer, and rubber where it should be rubber. It's a very nicely built rifle. Now, full disclosure, this isn't mine. This is a friend of mine's. He's given it to me to fix after he broke it. Actually, he broke it the day after he bought it. Not a fault of TM. It is he did the one thing he was told not to do, and he ran 11 ones in it, which in this rifle caused it to overspin, and it munched its piston.
Not great, not terrible.
But I have taken it apart and replaced the piston in it, so this is pretty much as stock as it's going to be, other than it's been modded to Dean's in the back as opposed to TM's proprietary batteries, because they are ridiculously expensive. I mean, £50 a battery. It's a bit much really, and especially seeing as they're NIMS. So, in true TM fashion, they care not about copyright and patents of other countries, and so they have whacked the HK logo and the correct markings all over this gun. So on the magwell, on the upper receiver, and finally also on the imitation bolt, which is very nice to do. TM also have available high caps in 500 rounds and mid caps in 90 rounds for this rifle. Before my mate managed to kill this last weekend, he did get a couple of games in with it, and from what I could see, it was performing amazingly. There were a couple of times where we were together and I was using my my DMR SLR, and he was using this stock, and it was throwing 2.8s out only 5 or 10 meters shorter than where my DMR was putting it. So that puts it in the kind of 60 meter engagement bracket as a stock TM, which is absolutely phenomenal. Once again, proving that there is some kind of Japanese pixie dust that they pour over these things to get them to work very well. Because I've had a look at the internals in this, and the hop up is no more than just a standard hop up backing. It's not some R hop or S hop or any kind of fancy hop. It is just a nub, as any other kind of stock gun is. But it's just the Marui magic throws them out there really. It's a testament to how well they build their guns. Quite incredible, really. I after seeing this in use before it died, I don't understand why people buy one of these and then spend another £500 replacing every single part inside, because for what they are, for the FPS they produce, they are phenomenal performers. Let's talk about the features of this gun. Well, it features a ambi selector switch, meaning both you lefties and you righties out there can operate it from either side, which is very nice, although I will say it's a very stiff selector. Then again, it is a brand new gun, so that might wear in a bit. Unfortunately, the mag release is only operated from the right side of the gun. There's no funky dory mag operation on the left side of the gun, but still. You also have a functioning bolt release, but only on the last round detection system, so you can't rack back the bolt and lock it back, unfortunately. That just doesn't work. So for when you're adjusting your hop, you need to hold it open and then get your fingers in there and twist it. You've also got a forward assist button here. Doesn't do anything as far as I can tell, but real one has it, so that has it. And also you have a adjustable 6-position stock, although it is quite stiff, so you really need to give a bit of brute force to get it to switch positions. There we go. Quite a nice stock, actually. It's got loads of space in the back. It is a push button and lift up to release. I think I've tested, and you can get two 1300 7.4s stick types in this, so it's quite a lot of battery space in here. That should be more than enough to keep you running all day with this rifle. And finally you get the HK style rear drum sight with different apertures for different ranges, but you're probably going to leave it on the battle sight for Airsoft. Anyway, now for the bit you're all really interested in: how does it shoot? So I've got a scope cam on it. Got a bucket, upturned bucket, about 40 metres away. It's probably about the size of the torso of a larger player. So we'll take a couple of shots in semi-auto, and then we'll do a couple of bursts in full auto. I don't have a mid cap with me, so I can't demonstrate the magazine cut-off. But I have a high cap with Razor 2.8s in it, so we can see how it performs. So, semi-auto. So the actual functionality of this gun is incredible. With running on 7.4s, it's very snappy trigger. Rate of fire is also very good. I see no reason really to upgrade the rate of fire on these. TM recoils, you buy them out of the box and they can just run, and I don't think you ever need to do anything to them. Hell, I've got a friend who runs a HK 416, and I don't think he's even cleaned the barrel in it, and it still performs amazingly. By the way, Proc, if you're watching this, clean your bloody barrel, mate. So let's have a little discussion about how the recoil guns actually work. Well, in the AR style rifle, so the 416, the 417 and the M4, the gearbox is open at the back, and the gearbox spring floats effectively. So as the piston comes back, it actually comes out the back of the gearbox, slightly different to a standard V2. So as the piston moves backwards out of the back of the gearbox, it engages with the buffer tube weight, which is on a rod, which hits the kind of inside edge of the piston head, which then pushes the weight back. Then once the piston reaches the end of its travel, it's released by the sector gear and it springs forwards, and so does the weight behind it. Therefore you get the recoil action going on there. In terms of internal quality, from what I could tell when I took it apart to fix it, it was very, very nice internals. All the gears, the gun is well shimmed, and all the gears look very nice. They mesh well together. So the thing I didn't realise about recoils is that the gears are actually designed differently to standard V2, V3 gears. Obviously they're laid out differently in the gearbox to enable the piston to come out the back of the gearbox as opposed to travel to the back of the gearbox. But also the teeth on the sector gear, both the pickup teeth that pick up the piston and the teeth that engage with the spur gear, they have the same radius, so they are effectively one and the same along half the gearbox, and then the other half the gear, and on the other half there isn't any pickup teeth on there. And that is why on recoil pistons the the rack are only half teeth width, because if they were full teeth width they'd interfere and be being pulled all the time by the sector gear. But I thought that was quite a cool design feature. Obviously, when TM designed it like that, they were of the thinking, well, these guns are going to be under 1 joule because of Japanese limits, and they never really thought about people who want to run them at 400 or 500 FPS, because some people like to run AEGs at 500 FPS. So I'm currently hiding in the garage at the moment because I don't want the 417 to hear this, but it does have some downsides. Primarily mags, you can only buy TM mags for it, and they're going to be expensive. And on cost, and on the discussion of price, to buy it, it's expensive. My mate paid, I think, £650 for the rifle, which is nuts, really, when you consider it. It's just an AEG, to be honest. Admittedly, it does have the cool features like the recoil, the bolt hold open, but still, 650 quid. And for what a lot of people will then rip it apart and put an entirely new gear sets, motors, for some reason new barrels, new hops, new pistons, everything. It's nuts when you think about it. Also, from a teching standpoint, it is a very hard gun to work on. I mean, you have to physically cut off the connector every time you want to take it apart, which is a pain in the backside. It's definitely not the easiest gun to work on, but it does have the benefits of looking really, really cool, having a cool amount of recoil, being built like a tank. That thing is solid. So I guess every negative has a positive side. Oh, while I was talking about magazines and the cost of them, finding mag pouches that will work with them is pretty hard. I think you're kind of limited to either running them in dump pouches or getting 7.62 style taco pouches, because the 417 mags are pretty chunky, more chunky so than the SR mags or Scar H style mag. So I think the taco style 7.62 pouches might just stretch enough to fit them, but I don't have any to try it, so your mileage may vary there. So the 417, it's a great gun. I really, really like it. It's well built. From stock it ranges well. It's got a great trigger response, nice full auto burst, and the added feature of the recoil hitting you in the shoulder when you fire is just a nice feature to have, and just adds to the whole airsoft experience. I will say I'm a bit upset I didn't get to test out the bolt hold open on an empty mag, but I have seen it working, and it is a cool idea to have, especially seeing so many people play, I definitely got you, and it turns out they didn't have any BBs in the mag and they weren't actually shooting anything. So the TM HK 417 has got seal of approval from me, so that's an English Kiwi thumbs up. I probably won't be picking one up soon because of the price tag, but I may have to go out and grab one of its smaller brothers, either the 416D or maybe even the M4. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope you have formed your own opinions on the 417, and if you have any opinions or thoughts, drop them in a comment below. I'd like to hear them. Consider sticking around and subscribing to see more of me either reviewing things badly, breaking things, or sucking at gameplay. Wait, before you go, I've completely forgot to say big shout out to my mate Tom for letting me borrow this to, let me fix it and then letting me borrow it to do a review on it. Obviously it wouldn't have been possible to do it without him, and I'm still amazed that you dropped that much money on this beautiful thing. I might just keep it. Anyway, for real this time, adios.